Hello, Western and World Civilization classes. So we are at the finale. We are done with this class, and now we just have the finals. So I will get to the heart of what many of you want to know is how to assess what's going on with the finals and your grades. So when it comes to the finals, you'll see that they're only 25 points. And essentially, if you were keeping up your work during the semester, 25 points isn't that much. I want to give you an opportunity to write about your thoughts on this class and use historical information to put it together if you want to get those points. But I also want to say something that I'm not telling you that you shouldn't take the final, and I'm not going to answer any questions from anyone whether or not that you need to take the final or not. That's something you have to decide. I do want to point out that I don't take it personal if you decide that you already have the grade that you want and the final isn't going to change the status of your grade. Now, how would you know that? You would know that you can look on Canvas and put in a hypothetical grade on your final, and it'll tell you what the percentage would be. So keep in mind, I'm going to put this on the on the announcement below, but a 100 to 90% is an A, 89% to 80% is a B, 79% to 70% is a C, and then you have a D and an F. Now, if you are in the F category, you might want to consider the fact that you can't retake a D, but you can retake an F. If you want to call and talk to me, today we are running out of time in terms of my availability, but please try to contact me and we can go over some things. I work all day at my other job tomorrow, and I will be doing some grading on Tuesday. You can contact me then, and then the final is due on Wednesday, and I'm going to then have the rest of the week to catch up on making sure I have everything graded and all of everything put in correctly. If you don't like, if you feel that there was some unfair grading taking place, if you have a problem with what you're seeing in the grade book, then please contact me. I'm very approachable about this. Mistakes happen. Sometimes I could put the wrong grade in for whatever reason. So don't be shy about asking me, hey, why did I get a 15 as opposed to 30 points or something like that? And I'll have an explanation for you, and if I don't have one, it means that I don't know, I was dizzy, I stayed up too late. I was listening to some crazy music when I was grading, and it got me all, whatever. The point is, I'll fix it for you if it's a problem. If I did it wrong. So there's no more late work coming in. No more. Okay? That's made that very clear. Let's see. I want to remind you again that you're going to see on Canvas assignments that you didn't do. You don't have to worry about them. They're just stuck there. It's a graveyard of assignments for some reason of former classes. Okay? Only the ones that you did for the modules. Now, if you decide not to take the exam, what I'd like you to do is you go to the assignment for the exam and you write to me and you say, Mr. Pollock, I am choosing not to take this exam. I'd rather I'll take the 0. And then I will just put it in, and you'll have the grade that you desire without doing the exam. So that's up to you. Again, I'm not going to answer many questions on that. It's just something for you to consider as an option. You know your life, your circumstance, what you want to get out of the class or not. And certainly if you've been working hard in this class, you have been really putting a lot of effort in. And I think that you've already demonstrated quite a bit of a work ethic and knowledge about a lot of things. So I hope that all of you really at least also take a new or a more appreciative position on the value of history. You know, and I taught 3 classes. Some of you were in more than one of them, but I basically taught Western Civ from around the time of the Reformation up until now. I taught World Civ from prehistory up into around the Middle Ages, and we covered religion, world religions as the emphasis. And then for my for my World Civilizations 107 class, I explored a lot, basically like wars, colonialism, anti-colonialism, imperialism, the Cold War, the War on Terror, a wide range of topics, Israel-Palestine conflict. Very important things to know, covering as much as I could in all parts of the world. Some parts of my 105 and my 107 actually complemented each other, but Western Civ, I focus more on the Western part because that's what it's called. It's called Western Civilization class. Then in my World Civ, I focus on the world part because that's what it's called. Now, having said that, there is a poem by an English poet that says something to the effect of, "No man is an island but a piece of the continent," or we could add, "No human is an island but a piece of the continent." Right? The reality is that whether we're talking about U.S. history, Western Civ, African history, Middle East, South America, we're all a part of world history, really. And disconnecting ourselves or trying to isolate ourselves, it only works to a certain extent, and then it just doesn't, it leads to a lot of problems. And I think that right now, looking at our social reality, I mean, I'm living in Portland right now. The news has portrayed certain things inaccurately, but yes, there has been a lot of tumultuousness here. They just made it sound like all of Portland was having a revolution, and it'd be like very specific locations. So that's the media for you. But we certainly have a crisis of people that do not have houses to live in, right? And that's from California to out here, and that's a crisis, the drug crisis. I took a Greyhound from the Central Valley back to Portland. It took me 21 hours, and that was the ride from hell. I do not recommend Greyhound to anybody if you value your life. They literally dropped me off without explanation. They dropped me off in Sacramento at the bus station around 11 at night, with the bus station being closed, no security, no bathrooms, no access to any like stores that seem to be in the area, and basically on the streets of Sacramento until 4:50 in the morning. And I was actually a part of I just had to get a group to be somewhat safe. And our group was being protected by 2 cholos on the bus ride. So yes, folks, that's right. I was kept safe by cholos in downtown Sacramento as I hung out on the streets, sitting on the cement while all this people coming in for cigarettes and doing drugs or whatever. And I said, man, what is this country? This is a crazy place, right? Like the tumultuousness. And when I got on the bus, 2 women got into a fist fight. One just throwing down. I looked at the young gentleman next to me. I was like, whoa. And he's like, yeah, we just need to get home. And he said, well, you think this is bad? They left us in Skid Row in L.A. for several hours, and 2 people got robbed. I said, man, this is nuts. I traveled the world 2 years ago. And I got to tell you, out of 10 countries that I went to, the most dangerous one on a personal level through crime and violence and all this kind of other problems is this one. Really. Really. And Manila, Philippines was also a little bit tricky. Some parts of Bangkok, yeah. But no, overall, And I just think that we need to ask ourselves, like, to look and say, like, what is it? What are we doing here? Like, what's going on, right? I love my country. This is where I was born and raised. And I love the world, but wow, I'm looking at things here and I see the anger and the way that politics of anger, and everybody's so angry. And you're always so angry. You just can't stand the way that person thinks. They're so stupid. Right? That's how you're doing this, right? So this is not working for us, my good people. And I have a lot of opinions about all of this, of the root of it all, or whatever. The bottom line is, I wish that at least more Americans were looking at the world, looking at world history, and seeing the patterns, and you're seeing the relationships and causalities, and getting a better understanding so that we can come into this more rationally and maybe more productively when it comes to like how we can all take care of each other and do better with each other. So that's my thought. There's an Icelandic phrase. It's my favorite phrase. Þetta reddast. It means in the end it'll all work out. I don't think that it's a statement of fate, like believing in like fate, but it's a mental determination. From my understanding, is that you work to do things to make it all work out. And I would like to see humanity do that as we look at the environment, what's happening here, looking at pandemics, looking at social and global tensions and conflicts. We've seen a lot of crazy history. What side of history are we going to be on? When it all comes down, will you look in the mirror and feel good about where you stood in the middle of it all? And that's what I hope you think about. So it's great having you in my classes, and I hope you all do well and thrive. And perhaps we'll be in touch someday and you'll see me around somewhere on planet Earth.